with what kind of alchemy Eindhoven built such a great semiconductor industry cluster?
Well, Eindhoven exists because of Philips. Philips, the brand Philips is from Eindhoven. Mr. Philips was from the city. He built up essentially the city. And if you go back, you see that Philips actually was the company who co-founded TSMC. TSMC was co-founded by Philips Semiconductor, the Taiwanese government, right? But Philips gave IPs to TSMC. And Philips spin off the lithography division and create ASML, which is the most important company in the world that does the machine for lithography. And Philips spun off also the semiconductor division that today is called NXP. NXP is Philips Semiconductor. And then they acquired Freescale, and now is a large corporation, but it was again Philips. And then there is still Philips Healthcare, which is one of the largest. Then everything is around Philips here, and the ecosystem is extremely strong with ASML, NXP, Philips. It's a good place in all this area of Eindhoven. Close by there is Leuven with Belgium, with IMEC, which is the large corporation supply nanotechnologies. Then it's definitely a good place to be. But in Axelera, as you know, as you can check, we have people from Intel that come from Intel here in Eindhoven, people from ETH Zurich. We have a big office in Switzerland. We have people from IBM Zurich lab in Zurich again. We have the memory computing team of IMEC. Then we as Axelera, we have people around Europe. We have 140 people today, more than 50 PhDs, but they are around Europe. We just take the best people we find here in Europe.
What kind of support do you think AI semiconductor startups need most?
I think for a company like us, I would say it's not difficult to hire talents because we do cool stuff. We do cutting edge artificial intelligence chip in Europe. And in Europe, you don't have so many companies do what we do, because the big corporations in Europe, they do other things. If you think NXP, ST Microelectronics, Infineon, Bosch, they are very strong in automotive, in industrial, but they are not so strong in AI. And we offer people to join a company to build up AI, and people are very happy to join us. We have very talented people because they like it. What is difficult for us, for a startup like us, is funding, because we are not in the United States and we are not in China. And in Europe, it's difficult to get money for hardware. It's easy for software, but for hardware, it's extremely difficult because people are skeptical. Europe didn't invest in hardware for decades, for many years. Now there is the European Chips Act, because the government said, oh my God, we need hardware. And it is a little bit better, but it's extremely difficult, and this is one point. It's also difficult, to be honest, to get data also, because, privacy and so on, and a small company, they have difficulties to get data. There is no place to get data. There is no libraries that you can access, and data is important. Today is fine because we design chip, but in the long run, you should have data, access to data to train the network, to learn, and so on. Today, only large corporations have data. And the third aspect that is difficult is the political situation. The tension between the US and China are impacting also Europe, which typically Europe has had a historically good relationship with China. And now this tension is making things difficult, even for a company like us, because people are scared, and it's a problem because we risk to limit companies to expand and to create a relationship just because of politics. And this is it's a big problem, I think, that I hope will be solved, because it's something that is bad for everybody. It's really bad for the wealth of people.
How to strike a balance between AI development and IP protection?
I understand this law. It's a little bit strong law for me. I mean, because you should pay back a little. If I create something and I share it and you use it, I should get something. It's like for the news on the web, that in Europe there was this discussion, and eventually European Union punished this website, and they said to the big players, including Facebook, if you want to use the news, you have to pay. Then on one side, we should pay back and we should find a mechanism. On the other side, we should get the access to data. Then we should find a compromise, I think. And I understand Japan that did this, which is extreme, but it's the only way. If you don't have data, you don't design AI. I mean, people complain because because of data. In China, it's a big corporation. They can access data and they can train easily. In US, it's very similar. In Europe, it's difficult, very difficult. With the GDPR and so on, it's very risky, and we have to find a way even to encrypt data, because we don't care about the data. I mean, you can encrypt data, you can remove the sensible information and give the rest. And if it's a copyrighted data, you can also have, I mean, I'm completely favorable to have a taxation or paying a fee to the author. I'm completely fine, but we should get the data.